सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So I see that there are no questions. Let us start with what we have been studying. This portion, please pay attention, because if you don't understand surrender, it's fine. I mean, if you don't understand it, it's fine. If you understand it also, it's fine. But if you misunderstand it, big mess of life, big mess. In fact, a lot of people misunderstand the concept of surrender. They believe that it means that action has to be surrendered. Action cannot be surrendered. It is always an attitude. All the wonderful things that religion, philosophy, Vedanta teach us are all to do with mental attitudes. It has got nothing to do with what you actually do. So that's why we always talk about understanding and not doing, because everything we're talking about is about understanding it. So very, very important that we understand it. So look at what is happening in the case of the olive tree that we have been studying. Here's a person who's asking for so many things. Asking for rain, asking for frost, for sunshine, for this, for that, exactly as we do in life. We say, give me my good marks in 10 standard, give me good marks in 12 standard, give me a good job or an occupation, give me a good wife, give me some children, give me this, give me that. All of this is absence of surrender. Surrender is your capacity to understand that you don't understand. And when we don't understand, then what are you demanding? What are you asking for? Imagine that. Not only are we demanding, not only are we asking, we are making ourselves miserable until that thing comes. Arey, but who told you you'll be happy when that thing comes? How do you even know this? So it's all full of ignorance. The whole thing is full of ignorance. You don't know what is good, what is bad. Nothing is known to us. And when nothing in the world is known to us, why are we getting so agitated that I must get something which, having got, I have no idea whether I'll be happy or not? Isn't that a bit futile in life? So therefore, the important thing always is that we what?
Have attitude of surrender.
Sorry, Varsha, I didn't catch that.
Have attitude of surrender.
Not really. The important thing, yes, of course, you must have that. But when you have that, the important thing is not
that
what
we
you got or
understand,
didn't got, but
that we understand properly.
Yeah, so when you understand, you'll understand that the most important thing is
To have an attitude and not surrender of action.
yes. So therefore, what will you do?
Understand we are ignorant.
Yes. So therefore, what is the important thing you will do?
Accept.
Surrender.
So when you surrender, what is the thing you will do?
Circumstance.
What will you do?
Have patience. Not use your intellect where you don't know.
Okay. So what will you do?
Please take advice from the higher, somebody wiser.
Okay, that is a possibility, but more generally speaking, Nanda. Okay, very good, Nanda. You will do your action. You will content yourself with doing your action. That is all your job in life is. Just don't worry about anything else. Enjoy your action. That's all you have to do. Understand that also carefully. It doesn't mean that I will pick actions I enjoy. I will pick actions which are the right ones and enjoy them. Because some people say I do it because I like it. No. You can't do that either. It's not that you picked an action that you will enjoy. It is that, yes, Seema, correct, right action. Yes, Shankar Prasad, give your best, irrespective of the outcome. When you say irrespective of the outcome, you must be careful in your comprehension of irrespective of the outcome. Just now, within the team, this whole discussion was going on. Suppose you do an action and the result doesn't come. Okay, you said, okay, if I do X action, then I will get Y result. But Y result doesn't come out of it. Then you have to re-examine your action. You have to say, okay, was this the best way of doing it or not? You have to do all that stuff. You have to keep applying yourself. It doesn't mean you won't apply yourself. This is where it all gets a bit tricky. Because, it is important that we understand all these things properly. Whatever you make a demand, your mind is craving and longing and hoping that this will happen. This is insanity, because we don't know whether by that thing happening, am I going to have any good result out of it? Am I going to be any happier? But that doesn't mean I don't strive towards my goal. I keep working. Yeah, Varsha?
So then there are two possibilities, that three, right? If I do my action, there is a result. If I do my action, there is no result. What if I do my action, there is result and there is agitation? Then is the goal wrong or action wrong, attitude wrong, all three, any of the three?
You do your action, there is a result doesn't tell us.
No,
you got the result you're looking for.
You achieve your goal also, but there is agitation.
Now there can be so many causes for that, because did you do the right action from every perspective also counts, right? Like somebody wants to become CEO of the company. A very good example is Shakespeare's play Richard III. I don't know if you all have, are you all familiar with Richard III and his story?
No.
Okay, so Richard III basically killed his way to the throne. He killed everybody on the path to the throne. Similar as in India, also some of the Mughal kings, you've heard of how they killed everybody on the path to the throne. Of course, so as far as they were concerned, it is the right action, because, there are 5 people on the way to my throne. I become king only if these people are all not there. So systematically, I go killing them all, right? So, and then of course he gets the throne. And then comes all the problems that came with the throne. Same thing with Macbeth. He killed King Duncan and took over the throne. And Duncan was actually somebody who looked after him, somebody who elevated him, somebody who brought him up, a benefactor. And they killed him, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. So in their conception of things, this was the right action. But it wasn't. It was an entirely self-centered action. And therefore, for Richard III, the throne was always agitation until the point where he died. For Macbeth, it was all agitation until the point that he died. For Lady Macbeth, it was all, what is this? Can all the oceans of Neptune wash the stain of this Tudor hen, she said. And Macbeth has lines about sleep, murdered sleep. So what he did basically when he murdered Duncan, he said, I murdered sleep. He never said I murdered Duncan. He said I murdered sleep. So, these kind of what we call right actions are not right actions. So when there is agitation following the result, which was there in the case of all these people, you know that this was not right action. There's another thing also that you didn't do. So one option is you didn't do right action. It was a selfish action. You can't get away with selfish action. Right action includes the fact that it is not selfish. Then you could have also endeavored to get something which actually is pointless for you to get, because it was not even going to get you any happiness. So you may have chosen the goal wrong. And thirdly, you have not accounted for the fact that, you know, so much I'm craving for this goal, but this goal is useful for me, to me, only under certain circumstances, and I have no control over those circumstances. This is a big thing that very few people get in life. Let me give you an example, okay? Suppose you're longing to go to a Chinese restaurant and have a meal. Right now, you're longing to do that, okay? And somehow that restaurant opens, somehow you're allowed in, somehow finally you paid a massive sum of money to be one of the first few people, only few people are allowed in at one time. And you paid a massive sum to go to that restaurant and eat this Chinese meal that you were craving, or Japanese meal, or whatever, Mughlai, or whatever in the world you were craving. You go to the restaurant, you order all these dishes, and you're really excited, and the waiter brings it to the table, and the fragrance is exactly how you want it. And then you taste the food, and the taste of the food is just perfect. This is what you wanted. Okay, at that time your cell phone rings. You pick up the phone and you hear that somebody extremely close to you has just met with a fatal accident. No more. That food is still in your mouth. It will turn to ashes. Any pleasure of that food will be completely gone because you just heard this tragic news, right? So you were craving for that meal. You got the meal. Nothing wrong in having that meal, but that meal is pleasure only under a certain set of circumstances. And should those circumstances change, pleasure is going to go. So we crave pretty foolishly for things as if to say that, circumstances are going to remain exactly the same. So from in every sense, this whole idea is silly in every sense. So why are you agitated? Because either the desire, the method you employed was incorrect, means the action was wrong, or the goal you chose was incorrect, or alternatively, you didn't consider what circumstances needed to be prevalent. So the circumstances are now changed. So this is no longer of any consequence to you. Again, you're agitated. So that means you spent the whole journey agitated and you're still agitated at the end. What is the point of this? Might as well have enjoyed the journey. Which also we have to understand, because enjoying the journey doesn't mean I'll do what I feel like. So I'll be happy. That's also not correct. I have to choose very consciously what according to me is the right action and execute it and find supreme contentment in doing that. Supreme contentment. And the fact of the matter is that is where contentment lies. It doesn't lie anywhere else. The amount of comfort and contentment and happiness that anyone just gets out of doing what they think is the right action cannot be matched by anything in this world. You see it for yourself, no? You got up in the morning, you did your exercise, you did your studies, you did your exercise. How do you feel? Somebody said something rude to you, but you didn't say anything rude right back. You sort of took it in your stride. How do you feel? Don't you feel good about yourself? People say, oh, how do you get good self-esteem? There's only one way for good self-esteem, and that is, you tell me now, how do you get good self-esteem? Pinky, you're muted. So what is the use of saying anything?
Believe in your intellect.
Okay, that is correct. Tinky, what?
Do the right action using
Right.
your intellect to guide you.
Yes, right action implies use of intellect. Okay, so use your intellect. You can use your intellect in other ways too. So in this context, it is right action. So though your answer is right, the fact is in this context, the answer is use your intellect to perform the right action. That's right, Asha. You just keep doing what you have to do moment to moment. Just do that and you will be totally happy, totally comfortable, totally contented. You don't need to get anything. And you will reach a stage that whether you get it or you don't get it, first you'll reach a stage where you'll get it and you'll be very happy. And after a time, you reach a stage where, mila ya nahi mila, I've already enjoyed it. You know, you're just so comfortable with things. Wherever we have done the right action, we will find comfort. Look at this COVID times. It's a good time for us to understand this. Ask yourself this question. What is that thing now which disturbs me the most in this whole situation? What disturbed me the most? For some people, it was finances. For some people, it was staying in the house. For some people, it was relationship issues. Different, all of us had different things that we thought was the most difficult under this period. Whatever according to us was the most difficult, we have to examine, because that area is the area that we have neglected. If you have found finances difficult in this period, know that you are not dealing with finances properly. How many people, especially the staff, keep saying, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. They don't have money not because they don't earn. There's a particular staff member who was being given full salary and obviously no expense, because even the transport cost was not borne. They didn't even have to come here. Full salary, no expense, and at the end of it, no money. And that person was given food as well. So where did you spend all your money? No, I need money now. There's no money. How? Because we don't know how to deal with money. Not because the money is any less. When will we get this into our head? We don't have less money. We have less capacity to deal with money. And when we have less capacity to deal with money, we find financial problems. We have limited capacity to deal with people, therefore we find relationship problems. We have limited capacity to deal with our own physical bodies, therefore we find relationship problems. All sorts of problems we're finding in the world, but we are not saying, oh, what did I do or not do in this case? And if we knew the answer to that question, imagine how much better life would be. How much better. You'll have no worries, no anxieties, you will sleep peacefully at night. You will be a beacon light for everyone. Forget solving your own problems. You will be busy solving other people's problems, because they will all approach you and say, please tell me what to do. Today, what is the condition? We are running behind people saying, I'll help you solve your problem, I'll help you solve your problem, and they are running away. That's not the way it's done. They will come to you. They means your own children will come and ask you. Your spouse will come and ask you. Today's condition is they see you and they're running away, because we are not dealing with it properly. Learn to deal with it. Do the right action and find supreme contentment in that. You will find. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do something to find. That is where contentment lies. That is where success lies. That is where everything lies. It's the Ma mantra of life. Okay, so when we say develop a strong intellect, what is the purpose of developing a strong intellect? Can you tell me what is the purpose of developing a strong intellect?
Only right action.
So that we can do the right action.
Just the capacity to choose that action.
Right action.
Right? Just the capacity to choose that action. That's it. That's all there is to it. All your intellectual growth, I want to grow spiritually. What do you mean you want to go spiritually? All it takes is choose and execute the right action. That's all it takes. No, I'm not interested in material things. Don't talk nonsense to me. If you are doing the right action, you will grow materially as well as spiritually. There's no choice between these two. Do the right action, and who can keep material gains away from you? They can't keep it only away from you. We are not here choosing, should I live a material life or shall I live a spiritual life? Who told you have to choose anything? Do the right action, everything will come. No, but I am not interested in material things. This is not the way to talk. What do you mean you're not interested in material things? Is this hypocrisy? Is this, oh, my wife is very keen on me making money, but I'm not interested in making money. What is this? What is all this supposed to mean? Please examine all these ideas that we hold, because it is these kind of ideas that hold us back in life. We will want progress and advancement in all things, whether it is our finances, whether it is our health, whether it is our relationships, whether it is spiritual life. And the promise of Vedanta is do the right action, everything is going to improve. It's not that some things will improve, everything will improve. Whether you like it or not, whether you like it or not means whether you ask for improvement in these things or not, they will all improve. Jabardasti you will get. Whether you've said, gone to the temple and said, please, 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 please give me some money, whether you said that or you didn't, it will come to you. Yes, to say money is not important is hypocrisy. We must learn to give money the right value. Money has a certain value. It is not zero value. It is not complete value. We must learn to give it the right value. So the whole concept of surrender, the opposite of surrender, is ego. Okay? So why is it ego? It is ego. The opposite of surrender is ego because it is the arrogance of knowledge where there is none. So that's where we come to this very interesting quotation from Thoreau. The philosopher of America, Henry David Thoreau, enjoins, whatever we leave to God, God does and blesses us. The work we choose should be our own. God leaves alone. So you can understand God here in the sense of success, happiness, realization, everything. You leave it to that. You leave it to the superpower. You don't go and interfere in it. And it will be taken care of. Don't interfere in it doesn't mean don't do. Please do. Doing is very important. It is the interference that is unimportant. And unimportant means that is a problem. So, Ajay Vaswani, can you please give an example of an incorrect goal? No goal is really incorrect in that sense, Ajay. What it means by incorrect is that when we are craving for the achievement of anything in this world, okay, you say, this is the girl I want to marry. Okay, and she is perfect for me, and I found my perfect match, and this is the person for me. So okay, I'm just going to repeat because this seemed to have gone off for a bit. Okay. So what is an example of an incorrect goal? There is no such thing as an incorrect goal, but there is such a thing as craving for a goal, in the sense that you want to, say, marry your perfect partner. You found somebody who according to you is perfect. And this person is perfect. We don't realize under a given set of circumstances. When those circumstances change, that person will no longer be perfect. So, same with any goal in life. Whenever you ask for something, that thing is useful only if so many other things continue to be the same. But if they change, like I'll tell you an example. Suppose there's a boy, he meets a girl. He thinks she is just perfect for him. So she's not even interested in marrying him. Okay. So then he goes all out trying to woo her, trying to make her agree to marry him. And then they get, then, she's not interested and all, and then whatever. He goes berserk trying to make her marry him. And then she agrees to marry him. And they get married. And he's very happy because he found the perfect girl. Okay. And he's doing very well at work and whatnot and the other. Okay. And she is very pretty, very charming, very high maintenance, just perfect for him. Everything is fantastic. Then he decides to join the ashram. Now, the same person who was so perfect in that earlier role will be the biggest misfit in what he wants right now. Isn't it? He wants to join the ashram. So it is totally misfit because she is like totally, perfect for that earlier CEO role, not perfect for an ashram student's wife. So all that craving, all that longing, all that everything that he put into it, the effort, the years he put in trying to convince her. Now what? The whole thing has become a burden to him because now he has to deal with this situation. Isn't it? So only if that situation continues the same will that goal be of use. So when you say incorrect goal, it only means that craving to achieve something when you don't know whether achievement of it will get you, it will get you the happiness. One way it won't get you the happiness is because circumstances change. The other way it won't get you happiness is maybe, it wasn't what you thought it was. Like many people work so hard to become so rich. You read all these articles in the paper, wealth fatigue syndrome. You can look it up. These are reported things. We are not making them up. And they work so hard to get money. There's a story. It's there on the net. This whole thing. There's a story of this fellow. He worked so hard to, and he made so much money. And then the story is, I read it on the wealth fatigue syndrome. I was reading up upon it. He said that what he did one day is in the hotel, he sent the concierge to go buy gold coins, thin gold coins for like, I don't know, some $1 million or something. And then he sat on the seashore and he was flicking those coins in. That's how much that money meant to him. Of course, eventually the story is, of course, he lost his money eventually because naturally you treat your money with disrespect. What on earth do you think is going to happen to it? So he was flicking it in. His pleasure wasn't just flicking gold coins. Can you believe that? So you think you will work so hard and get something, and then when you get it, you don't find the satisfaction. One of the reasons, of course, is that the circumstances change. One of the reasons is it's not what you thought it would be. Everybody thinks that if I become rich, all my problems will be solved. No, Baba, more problems will be on your head. You have no idea. Many people think when I become the CEO of this company, all my problems will be solved. Not really, my dear. Become CEO and then find out. We all think that the grass is greener somewhere else. We all think so. It's very lonely at the top. Very, very lonely. Whenever you're at the top of anything, it's terribly lonely because you can't really speak to anybody. Nobody can even understand what you're going I mean, they may say yes, yes, because it's their job to say yes, yes, but they don't get what you're trying to say because they haven't experienced, just as you would not have got it before. So is that okay, Ajay? So incorrect, not necessarily in the sense of there's something wrong with it, but it's just that it is not what you expected it to be.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Janki ji.
Okay, so yeah.
So in this scenario, how would you identify the right goal for you? Because circumstances may change, your own mind may change. So how would you know what you want?
You have no option but to work for what inspires you now. When it changes, we'll see that time. The point over here is don't crave for it because you don't even know whether it'll change or not. That's the point. The point is not that you shouldn't have a goal. The point is don't crave for the goal. You don't know what's coming out of it. Is that clear?
I'll have to think about it.
Why, Bharat? What is the problem?
So far, I'm sufficiently confused. I'll have to think about it.
Whatever we leave to God, God does and blesses us. Whatever we leave to God means I don't interfere in the due processes. Nothing wrong over here. That's fine. I don't interfere in the due processes. I understand that things take time. I understand that I don't even know whether I should have this thing or not. The safest goal for me is always, which is the safest goal? That you can never be disappointed. Which is the safest goal?
Surrender.
No,
Inaction.
goal.
Inaction.
Higher goal, self-realization.
Self-realization, correct. Is the safest because by definition, there is no way you can be disappointed with it, right? So if you choose any other goal, you don't know. But if you choose self-realization, you have no option but to be happy. Happiness will be forced upon you if you get self-realized. So that's the safest goal. Anything else, we don't know. So therefore, don't worry about that. What we need to do is fix ourselves a goal and work. Now look, can you all hear this sound? Can't hear it?
Yes.
Hear it?
It's clear now. It's clear. It's clear.
Okay, so suppose we were craving for this class and then suddenly this sound started. What could we do? Okay, we don't know who now is making this racket around here. What's the point? What's the point of these various things that are going on? You see, any circumstance can change at any time. We are sitting here quietly doing our Vedanta studies. Suddenly somebody decides to do something. Now, where are we going to hunt this person down, whoever has decided to do this? Right? So what was the point of craving? If I was craving, then I would be unhappy all the time. And then the circumstance changed, now I'm unhappy again. Silly, isn't it? So whatever we leave to God, God does and blesses us. Whatever we leave to God means, what are you leaving to God?
Result.
The fruit of action.
Result.
But anyhow, we don't have.
Now I can't hear you. You'll have to now speak much louder.
No. Anyway,
Result of action.
We don't have the control over the outcome. We are doing our best. That's all.
So the outcome we leave to God. We decide to have a class. Poor Bharat does so much promotion for every class. He puts it all out on all the social media. And each time he puts in all the hard work of figuring out what shall I put on that thing to make so many people come and attend class. Such hard work the poor boy does. But if his happiness lies in how many people came, suppose 5,000 people came to the class today, and then this noise started, what will happen? All back to zero, right? So what's the point of it all? We just concentrate on Tell me, we all concentrate on
Action.
Correct action.
our
Correct
right
action.
action. So whatever you choose, whatever we leave to God, meaning the fruit, whatever we leave to God, God does and blesses us. Meaning the right thing will happen for us. Don't worry. You did the right action, the right thing will happen. Don't worry. The work we choose should be our own. That means we insist, our ego asserts that this particular thing must happen. Then only things will be okay. If we live life in that kind of way, God says, okay, bhai, you want to handle it, no? Handle it. And he leaves it alone. Yes, Sankar Prasad, current action is listen carefully. But at any moment in life, it is whatever is required for that action. Okay, so is this whole thing clear? If so, we will move to, you have a question, Ruchika? Oh, thumbs up as well, it's clear. Okay, fine. Okay, everybody is good. Okay, so who will read the next paragraph, the next topic?
I'll read.
Go ahead.
Desire veils the self. Your self within is supreme. It is divine. You are the supreme self. The divinity in you is presently obscured by desires. Cast away, eradicate all your desires. You regain divinity. Human being minus desire equals God.
Go ahead, finish the whole thing.
In the process of eliminating desires, you must ensure they do not reappear in another form. Desires cling to you. You may feel sure of having erased a desire, but it finds its way back in some other layer of your personality. Thus, you may have got rid of your passion for material wealth, only to slip into a passion for name or fame in the world. You drop 100 copper coins to pick up a silver coin. That will not bring you any nearer to godhood. You unveil your divinity only when you have clean dropped all your desires, banished your selfish ego. You cannot do it in halves. You must give up the last grain of desire. There is no other way to it. That is the price you pay for regaining your divinity. So that one line thing is, we are originally the self. It is we are God. We have to, the desires are what make us what we are. So if you want to regain our original self, we have to drop all desires.
I can't hear you, Varsha.
We are originally the self.
Mm-hmm.
The desires have, made us what we are. So if you want to regain our godhood, then we have to drop every single desire.
Yes, correct. And the problem on the path that we face is what?
That we replace one desire with another. The problem we face is we replace one desire with another.
Can you say that again?
We replace one desire with another.
Yes, not just we replace one desire with another. We replace desires in such a way that we have not reduced at all. We've not reduced the bulk of desires at all. Like for instance, suppose you say, I'm not interested. Oh, I used to be so interested in buying diamonds. Now I'm no longer interested in buying diamonds. Abhi to kuch mujhe interest hi nahi hai. So you replace that desire with the desire to say, Abhi, I don't want to go anywhere. I'll sit at home all day and watch television. And then I keep talking about how I used to wear diamonds, but now I'm not interested. But not interested means what? You're from Rajas, you went to Tamas. So what are you saying is a great thing that you have done? So, we have to be very careful in this concept about removing desires. There was normally, a common examples is I used to go to so many parties. यहाँ वहाँ कितने parties हम लोग जाते थे. अब तो मैं बिल्कुल parties नहीं जाती. मैं तो सिर्फ मंदिर ही जाती हूँ. You're doing exactly the same thing. You just got a different name for it. So all the time, when we think we are removing desires, what we are doing sometimes is just replacing desire X with desire Y, and that's all we're doing. And why are we replacing desire X with desire Y? Because we just happen to be fed up with desire X for the moment. So that's there, and this other one is that there too. So you have to be extremely careful about this business about reducing desires. It is always safer for us to think that we have not reduced them. That is the safest way to go about it. Otherwise, you never know where we will get hit in life. So what is the point of this paragraph is he's concluding the idea. Remember, he'd all begun with how we are the self. We didn't know that we are the self. And therefore, all these emotions start coming onto us. And so let's regain that divinity. In the process of regaining the divinity, please do this correctly. Otherwise, we are replacing merely X with Y. This is Ramatirtha's example. He says, you drop 100 copper coins and pick up a silver coin. So 100 copper coins you give up and pick up a silver coin means you are exactly at the same place you were earlier. So that is our chapter. Shall we do a quick recap of this chapter? Does anybody have any question on the chapter, or I will do a quick recap? Okay, so what did this chapter talk about? The first subtopic in the chapter was emotion and intellection. So what did we learn? We learned the basis of how to deal with our emotions. There were 2 points in this. What were the 2 points? Does anyone remember what is the basis of dealing with emotions? There were 2 main ideas. Which were the 2 main ideas?
Using your head and being unselfish.
I think I should not ask you because I can't hear a word you're saying. I hope you all can hear what I'm saying. Okay, so the 2 main ideas were, number 1, that emotions should be purified. Okay, what does purification of emotion mean? Remove them from being selfish to unselfish to selfless. So first step is we must learn to purify emotion. Then the second thing we need to do is not only have we to purify our emotion, we have to keep our emotion under intellectual guidance. What does it mean to keep your emotion under intellectual guidance? Does it mean that you shouldn't feel very happy or very unhappy? Does it mean that? Does it mean that you should somehow control the quantum of your emotion? Then what does it mean? Quick when it's quiet.
Don't act impulsively.
Very good, excellent.
Actions.
Don't act on that emotion. Your keeping an emotion under intellectual guidance means that when your body performs the action has to come from the intellect and not from the emotion. The quantum of the emotion doesn't matter. You can feel very happy, you can feel top of the world, you can feel bottom of the ocean also. You can be laughing and dancing and singing and so happy all over. Or you can be so unhappy and so miserable that you are at the bottom of the ocean. Whatever you feel, that's not a problem. Go ahead and feel whatever you want. What is important is, no matter what you feel, when you decide to perform an action, the action is something that you have thought through. You have figured out whether this action ought to be performed or not. That's the important part. So don't say that, oh my God, she's so emotional, she shows so much emotion. No problem in showing emotion. I mean, be as happy, as unhappy, as angry, as miserable, whatever you want to be. That's not an issue. What is an issue is when you start doing something without having thought it through. When you start taking some action, but you have not considered whether this is something you ought to be doing in the first place. So that's the issue. So with reference to emotion, there are two things. One is the emotion itself must become better. And two is whatever the emotion is, good, bad or ugly, action must come from the intellect. Okay, so this is the base of the chapter. So first we started studying about what is getting your emotion better, because that itself is a difficult concept to understand, and the one which is most difficult to understand is the concept of love versus attachment. Most of us think that wherever we are attached, we call it love. Love and attachment are entirely different. Attachment makes us miserable, makes us agitated, gets us bound. Love makes us free, gives us happy relationships, gives us contentment in relationships. If at all you are finding misery in any relationship, know that you are attached. Know that you are attached means that in this relationship, you find yourself more important than the other person, number one. Number two, whatever you're doing in this relationship is not conducive to a good relationship. Remember the first two principles, right? The first two principles were what? Purify emotion, act on the intellect, not on the emotion. Those were the first two principles. Now, if some relationship is giving you problem, it has to be that one of these two things are not in position. When they are not in position, that love is called attachment. So what is attachment? Attachment is all about me. Love is all about you. So when the father tells the son, I want you to become an engineer. Ghar ka naam roshan karega, like that. So this conversation is about whom?
The father.
About the father. Isn't it? This is called attachment. It's quite simple really if you think about it. It's all about me means attachment. There's some song in English where I haven't heard the whole song, but I heard this line and I was quite horrified to hear the line. It says, it's about how you make me feel. I don't know if you all have heard this song. It was very popular and playing somewhere. It's about how you make me feel. This is called attachment. It's not about how you make me feel. It's about what I can do for you. So when it becomes about how you make me feel, that is called attachment. Okay, so if you make me feel nice, I'm your best friend. And if you don't make me feel nice, I'm your worst enemy. This is called attachment. Now, the difficult part over here, obviously, is that there are abusive relationships. Many people wonder about that. So suppose you are in an abusive, or anybody is in an abusive relationship, somebody is being mean, rude, beating you up. Sometimes people are physically beating each other up. Sometimes both husband and wife are both beating each other up. This is the condition it has reached. Now you have to figure out, firstly, nobody is supposed to beat anybody. If anybody beats anybody, whoever is being beaten has to walk out of that situation. Okay, because this is now too bad. You better go away from there and think a bit what you want to do. And then secondly, it's not just about talking, beating. If somebody is saying rude things to you, negative things to you, you have to step back and think, what is going on over here? Nobody's allowed to be rude to you. Nobody's allowed to say bad things to you. So please understand this carefully. There are some people who say, वो उसको कुछ भी करने दो, हम अच्छे रहेंगे. ऐसे सोचोगे तो मार खाओगे. This is all nonsense idea. This is what the Gita says. Yudhishthira said, उसको करने दो जो कर रहा है, हम अच्छे रहेंगे. No, not correct. Then Arjuna, who never thought like that, suddenly woke up one day and said, "Nee, nee, 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 wo to mere ye hai, mere wo hai." Never mind, mere kaun hai. They are not treating you properly. You have to handle the situation. Okay, so deal with the situation. Don't go on saying, "Let him behave any way he wants. I will behave nicely." This so-called nice behavior is actually stupid behavior. Please don't do such things. Nobody is allowed to be mean to anybody. I am not allowed to be mean to you, and you're not allowed to be mean to me. Okay, please take your stance carefully. Don't take your stance ki "आ बैल मुझे मार, मैं ही एक पड़ा हूँ जिसको मार सकते हो." This is not correct. Nobody is supposed to treat us badly, and we are not supposed to treat anybody else badly. If anybody is treating anybody badly, somebody has to take action. Okay, so that is why we have to apply ourselves to understand it properly. Everybody will tell you, don't have expectations from your spouse. Correct. Don't have expectations from your spouse is correct. Actually, that's also not correct. Can anybody correct this statement? Don't have expectations from your spouse. Can you correct the sentence?
Have
Wrong
correct
Unreasonable expectations. Don't expect your
Have
spouse
wrong
to cater to you.
expectations from your spouse.
Unrealistic.
Deepa, you're also right, unreasonable, but if you're using the word unreasonable in the technical sense of Vedanta, only then it's correct. Because some people say, "He's my husband, no, he has to earn money and take care of me." No, he's a useless fellow. He's not capable of earning money. How can he take care of you? You will have to take care of him. What are you saying? Just because he's my husband, he has to take care of me? No, he is not capable of functioning normally. How is he going to take care of you? If anybody has to take care of the situation, you will have to take care of the situation because he's incapable of it. So realistic expectation means I'm not expecting from a husband or from a wife or from a child or from a parent or from a neighbor. I'm expecting correctly from the individual who is in front of me. As long as you can get that, then it's correct about reasonable.
Thank you, Janki ji.
Akhila. Akhila, where are you?
I'm here.
Could you please explain the concept of sacrifice in this context? Yeah, interesting. Akhila, when have you started attending classes?
I joined, I think, last week.
Okay. So sacrifice, Akhila, means sacrifice. Whenever in Vedanta we talk of sacrifice, it is defined as, or it is the full term, I can't say it's defined as, the full term is the sacrifice of likes and dislikes towards a higher ideal. Sacrifice is just a short form of saying that we will sacrifice our likes and dislikes towards a higher ideal. So in this context, I assume you mean in this context, you are talking about relationships, right? So what is the concept of sacrifice in a relationship? So your higher ideal in the relationship is the welfare, the well-being of the relationship, whatever your ideal in that relationship is. It could be anything, right? Even in a relationship, your ideal could even be self-realization. Or for most people, it would be at least the well-being of the relationship, where you're willing to sacrifice your likes and dislikes for the well-being of the relationship. Now, in this, suppose somebody in a relationship is being very negative to you. It's somebody you love dearly, and that person is very negative towards you. So, how will you sacrifice your likes and dislikes? Can you give me any examples of that?
No, can I give another example? And if it is wrong, you could correct me on this. For instance, if
another example, first one you give, no?
No, what I meant was, if you're talking about a family, so you have a mother, you have a father, and mother, father, and a child. Now the husband is abusive towards the wife. but the wife remains in the relationship for the sake of the child. So would that be so we would consider that as, would we consider that as a sacrifice? Because
I would consider that as a very bad action.
Okay. Yeah.
Because what are you teaching the child? Are you teaching the child that it's fine for somebody to beat somebody? What are you teaching the child? Is that what you want the child to grow up thinking? The worst example that a parent can set for a child. That's not correct. You have to take right action, which means whatever. Why is this person beating somebody up? Please go and find out. Why is he behaving like that? Does the person require medical intervention? I mean, it'll either be medical intervention or legal intervention, maybe familial intervention, whatever it requires. Nobody's supposed to take a beating. That's just not right. How is that right? I mean, if you're just looking at it from outside, okay, you're seeing a man beat his wife, would you ever say this is the right thing to do? Or the other way around, because there are other cases also where wives are beating up husbands. Is this correct? This is not correct. We don't deal with anything that is not correct. So sacrifice here is, I am willing to sacrifice my security and comfort and my, what should I say, comfort zone to be able to do what this situation requires. This situation, I have to figure out what this situation requires. That's my first step. So say, how did it come to this state? How did it even reach such a state? So what have I done or not done? I have to figure out and act accordingly. That is sacrifice of my likes and dislikes. A woman can stay over there because she's not financially independent too. So she's not willing to sacrifice her likes and dislikes for that. You have to sacrifice your own likes and dislikes. That's the only way sacrifice works. You don't sacrifice right for wrong. You sacrifice likes and dislikes for an ideal.
Because we often hear this term used very loosely, that so and so, our parents made so much of sacrifice for us. I was just trying to clarify, is there, so because you mentioned that sacrifice is about giving up your likes and dislikes, but is that always a sense in which we use it when we talk about it in our day-to-day life, when we say about how much how much sacrifice your mother made for you, so that was just, I was just trying to clarify that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your mother many mothers do make those sacrifices.
Yes.
They do give up their likes and dislikes towards the well-being of their child, of course. I suppose it would be impossible to be a good parent without doing that. And sacrifices she makes is sometimes she shouts at you when she doesn't want to shout at you. In the sense that sometimes it breaks a mother's heart that you are that she has to give you a punishment, but she still gives it to you. That's all sacrifice. Sacrificing your likes and dislikes towards a higher ideal is sacrifice. Now, does this happen in society? Our society, unfortunately, has forgotten to study Vedanta, but it's continued some sort of vocabulary. So everybody's putting their own meanings to everything without going back and finding out what on earth does this word even mean. So there was improvement of emotions through understanding attachment, kindness, charity, all of this. And then there was learning to govern emotions. How do you govern them? By not allowing it to develop into all those negative emotions. And finally came the concept of leaving it. Do your work and then leave it. So that is what this chapter was. From next time we start a chapter which everybody finds very, very boring, but my favorite because it is to do with knowledge. Difficult in the sense that it's more abstract than something we've been studying, but great to understand what knowledge is in the first place. So everybody is fooling around, I want to be knowledgeable. What is knowledge, please? So let's study that next time. Bharat has an announcement for us.
Hari Om everyone. We're meeting this evening, and the meeting details have been given in the new group. For those who don't know about it and can yet join us this evening at 6:30, please message me on a personal chat. I'll send you the details again. Thank you.
But yeah, we are having a meeting for the yagna. What fun! We can get together and do some good work and see how we can spread the word around. Okay.
I
Hari
want to
Om.
say